The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is the quintessential 90s show. It is lighthearted in its theme, it's got a goofy premise, and overall, it is designed to entertain people in a way that isn't really trying to challenge them or force them to think too much about what's going on. It also had its emotional moments, which we'll talk about later, because based on the comedy framework, those emotional moments actually had significantly more weight because when they happened, they weren't being forced. They were something that happened due to the story actually happening, and a lot of it was tied to outside things, like Will Smith's actual feelings about his father in one of the most famous scenes in the show. However, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air actually has a hardcore, really tough reboot going on, and I saw the trailer for it. I need to talk about it. You guys need to hear about it because it's hilarious in every way. But before we get into that, I got a sponsor. I'm gonna throw it over to them, catch you on the other side, and then we're gonna talk about The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air's reboot, Bel-Air. Do you feel like you've tried everything in terms of weight management, goofy diets, different routines, eating at this time but not at this time, and no bread on Tuesdays but definitely bread on Fridays? Well, you're not alone. A lot of Americans, obviously, look at the obesity statistics, are going through these troubles. But one of the things that I'll recommend, because I'm on this journey right there with you, is Keto with Justice. This powder is pretty awesome. It's not complicated. It's not overly convoluted. I don't need to take steps this day but that day. I just put a little bit of this powder in my morning coffee or in any morning beverage, and I watch the fat melt away. Keto with Justice is great. It follows the same basic principles of the keto diet. It's just one powder a day, no overcomplications, and it will help prolong a state of ketosis and thus help you burn a little bit more fat. 51% off at ketowithjustice.com. That's ketowithjustice.com. Look, I'm going to be honest with you. IPs need to die. Intellectual properties were not meant to last forever. We don't need to reboot absolutely everything for streaming services. And if you're one of these people that's going to sign up to something like Peacock because they're rebooting The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, yet they're making it a gritty, more hardcore tale that takes on more issues and taking out all the comedy and the fun and basically just having the same names associated with the characters as they are completely different characters and the same general premise, you're the problem. You need to cut it out. Don't watch this show. It's absolutely ridiculous. And I know it's not even out yet. I will give it a chance. I'll probably watch a couple episodes, but the trailer on its own already is ridiculous. And it's so ridiculous, by the way, that they could have just easily made a different show. It didn't have to be tied into The Fresh Prince. It didn't have to be this like gritty reboot of the series. But instead, because everybody's obsessed with intellectual property and you have to have built-in fans before you do anything, we have a very serious Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reboot. Let's get into the trailer.
This time we're trying to
Look, I know this is 1 second into the trailer, just 1 second, but the TVMA is something I thought I would never see attached to The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a show that is super goofy and lighthearted, that actually is the tale of somebody coming from Philadelphia, and essentially it's like a culture shock, fish out of water type of thing, and it's an idea that basically you can take the person out of Philadelphia, but not the Philadelphia out of the person, as he interacts with his rich cousins and uncles and all these people who have been totally changed by money and status. That being said, we're gonna get this very serious thing, and I promise I won't pause it literally every second.
make you forget who you are and where you came from. Don't let it do that.
This is just way too serious for a Fresh Prince of Bel-Air reboot. If you're going to do a show that is this different, the premise is going to be so opposite of what the original premise is, then call it something else. Don't attach it to the old IP. But the idea that we're going to open up the trailer for The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which, by the way, the show had this goofy song that had a little montage, and even the fight that Will Smith got into, him getting into trouble, was played up very comedically. It was not meant to be too serious. And it opens up with, this town is going to try to make you forget everything about who you are and Philadelphia. You're in Bel-Air now. Bel-Air, where Philadelphians go to die. Will, you're going to have to fight back because this is Bel-Air.
Came from. Don't let it do that.
Also, again, I just gotta point out, one of the things that was crucial to making The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air stick around for so long and making people watch the reruns and watch it on streaming is that it was its own thing. It had its own flavor. It was carried largely by the charisma of one Will Smith. This is the most generic trailer of all time. Again, it's a TV show reboot that's supposed to be serious of the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air TV show, yet it has the dun 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 dramatic action movie trailer moments. Dun 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 dun! Like, why? Why are we doing this? What is going on? Whose idea was this? I know Will Smith is behind this, but somebody needs to take away that man's money, because every time he invests in something, we get the equivalent of After Earth, which, by the way, was something that Will Smith literally paid for to give his son a vehicle so that his son could be a movie star just like him, because that's how big Will Smith's ego is. But again, dun 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 dun.
Damn! Jeffrey Thompson, house manager.
Hold on, I gotta hear that again.
Jeffrey Thompson, house manager.
Seriously, come on. Peacock, what are you doing? NBC, I know you're behind this. Why are you doing this? Why did you have to make Jeffrey the most serious sounding guy of all time? Jeffrey Thompson, the butler. Jeffrey Thompson doing his best impersonation of Idris Elba in an action movie where he's the villain. Jeffrey Thompson, Mission Impossible villain. Was Idris Elba even a Mission Impossible villain? Jeffrey Thompson, Idris Elba's character from The Wire when he was angry and killing people, not when he was running the business. Just to let you know, I will literally murder you. Imagine we open this up and then Ashley, the youngest of Uncle Phil's children, just gets strangled and the whole show is a murder mystery of who strangled Ashley in the home, and then we find out at the end of it, it was Jeffrey Thompson.
Will!
Oh, Bill!
Hillary!
Will!
Let's go.
Yo, Uncle Bill!
Glad you're safe. We'll talk later.
Cousin Will!
Yo! Is this really baby Ashley?
You're a long way from home, Mom.
Oh, damn.
I may be just a cynical, soulless monster. In fact, I know for a fact that I am a cynical, soulless monster, but nostalgia does nothing for me. You naming the original cast, the characters from the original TV series, and they're all completely different, is not impressing me. I'm not like, oh my god, the new Vivian. Oh my god, the new Ashley. Oh my god, the new Carlton, who's not a joke anymore. He's dead serious, even though his hairline, and look, I know I shouldn't be talking about hairlines at all, but this is quite interesting, is ridiculous. I mean, this guy looks older than Uncle Phil. I'm not sure how he's playing lacrosse in high school at this time when he's clearly 25 years older than his father. But okay, Carlton's dead serious. He's not going to be dancing. You know that dance that you liked that Carlton did in the original series? Well, you're not getting that. That's not going to be here. That's all out because this is dead serious. In fact, he's going to whisper in Will Smith's ear that he wants to know why he's really in Bel-Air.
I hope one day we can talk about why you're really here.
Look, I know I'm making a video about this. I know I'm discussing this. I know I wanted to talk about this, but as I'm rewatching the trailer, I'm almost at a loss for words on how ridiculous it is. So here we have Jeffrey Thompson, the very serious butler who may be a killer, probably a former Navy SEAL, probably some kind of an assassin of some sort, talking about how Will Smith got into a very serious fight in the basketball court where somebody pulled out a gun. It was serious. Then he was thrown up against the ground by the police because I don't know if you know this, police are racist. And if you think there's not going to be a lot of racism talk in this show, it's definitely going to be there. And a bad man, a gangster, is after Will Smith from Philadelphia. But it's okay because Jeffrey Thompson is lethal with his hands. He's basically Liam Neeson from Taken. And he'll probably end up killing this person.
Know why I'm here from Philly?
Scrapping the bull court. Got nasty.
Don't do that! Was it you?
Now some bad man from Philly, he want to deal with you.
Because what we all know, what we truly needed in our lives was Jeffrey, the butler from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, to be rebooted as a super badass so that he can kill people that are gang members coming from Philadelphia to kill Will Smith, not actually being played by Will Smith, but this new kid that's supposedly Will Smith, even though he does not look like he's going to do anything but imitate Will Smith.
Came to Bel-Air for a better education. Simple. Be patient. Give this a real chance.
We have a different set of rules here, okay? If you want to do well, just keep your head down and follow my lead.
Whoa, whoa. Man, you know I'm a rep West Philly wherever I go. Yo, King, what's up, man? No love.
Now look, the fish out of water thing was associated with the original series, but one of the things that made Will Smith so likable is the fact that he's charismatic and likable, and he would always react differently and kind of shock the people of Bel-Air, because one of the things that's unique about rich people in the United States of America, especially rich people in Bel-Air as they were portrayed, is that essentially that they want to constantly be polite 100% of the time, and they never want to try to correct any behavior that is negative. So they would talk maybe behind Will Smith's back, but when he confronted them so confidently, they did nothing but react strangely to the things that Will Smith was doing, and this was played up for comedic purposes. On top of that, Will Smith was accepted as somebody who was cool because he was so charismatic, and in the show they're like, Will Smith, so attractive, he's always going after all the girls, that everybody kind of embraced him, and they embraced him more than Carlton, even though they were a school of all nerds. Basically, you put in the jock-like character into a thing of all nerds, and they all kind of looked up to him, which now that I think about it, Will Smith having a hand in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air series probably really demonstrates how much of an egomaniac this man is, because now that it's not being played by Will Smith, we see this not Will Smith going through struggles and not being accepted. But then again, I'm sure his wife's more involved and she's super aggressive, so they're like, we have to portray that people aren't accepting you because you're authentically black, unlike Carlton, who's not authentically black. And you have these moments in the trailer, and you know this is going to be a big thing, because we're not going to get the resolution of Jeffrey murdering the drug dealer assassin guy who's going to come after Will Smith until the season finale, that this show is largely going to be about how Will Smith isn't accepted by these white Bel-Airites, and Carlton's gonna have to relearn to rediscover his true blackness and stop saying that those are his people.
Look around. These are my people.
What?
So although we only got a snippet of this, I will say that this is the evil white bad guy, because every show needs an evil white bad guy, and this guy's blonde hair. I think he has blue eyes. I don't really remember. I was looking at it before I started shooting this video, but he was dancing or something. Now, I'm not sure, but I'm gonna guess that he was either mocking Will Smith, or he was participating in some form of cultural appropriation, or he was singing along to a black song that he just didn't know what he was doing, and Will Smith confronted him, and he's like, what? How dare you? Don't come at me. I'm white privilege, man. I think this character's name, actually, now that I think about it, is in fact going to be white privilege. Like, his name will be that. Maybe his first name will be privilege and his last name will be white, but he does like Japanese cultural appropriation where you put your last name ahead of your first name in terms of conversations. So I think that is the actual storyline of what's going on here, and Will Smith's just gonna have to show him that this guy's an evil racist. He's got to take him down for his racism. I guarantee you, Will Smith, the bulk of his struggles in West Philadelphia is going to be all the racism that's all around. And Uncle Phil, instead of being a successful judge who doesn't give a damn what other people say, instead of being somebody who, by the way, actually fought through civil rights era, which is something that Uncle Phil actually did, he's just going to be a guy that's going to be like, listen, you have to go along with the white supremacist, white power, white something system, Will. And Will's just going to fight it back because he reps Philadelphia wherever he goes.
What the hell is my life?
Yo, chill out, bro.
Oh no, there's privileged white going after Will Smith at a party, just showing off his white privilege. How dare he in every possible way. Also, because we need some more dramatic stuff in the show, we're gonna cut to Will maybe not be worth saving according to Uncle Phil.
Why are we working so hard to save a boy who doesn't want to be saved?
Because we owe it to him.
By the way, Uncle Phil, one of the great things about him is that he was this stern father figure that was what Will Smith needed and is why Will Smith's mom sent him to Bel-Air in the first place. But here he's like, why even try to save somebody who doesn't want to be saved? Why don't we just send him back to go get killed, or send him back with Jeffrey Thompson, and he can go kill all the gangsters for him, and then he could live in Philadelphia as the top dog. And then the mom, or the aunt in this case, looks at him and is like, we owe it to him. That's why. Very dramatic. You need to calm down. First of all, he's only a few inches away from your face. You don't need to shout at him. But okay, I get it. That's actually your blood relative, and Will is not your blood relative. So I understand. But chill out. Just calm down. You're at a 10. I need you at about a 2. Also, this is supposed to be a reboot of a comedy show, so maybe throw a joke in there every now and again. But instead, we're going to cut to Will Smith dramatically running away.
A real man takes responsibility for his actions.
So here you have a dramatic Will Smith running away from the white supremacist, white power, white supremacist, Bel-Air, white supremacy, racism, systemic structures of systems and structures. And Uncle Phil says, make the most of your opportunities. And then they cut to the aunt, and the aunt looks at Will and be like, listen, Will, be the same Will that charmed your way through West Philadelphia.
Be the Will who charmed West Philly with his talent and swag.
However, here's the thing, I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this, but Will Smith in West Philadelphia was in a gang fight, and then somebody was like, I'm gonna kill you, I'm gonna shoot you dead. So maybe, just maybe, you don't want Will to be the exact same Will that he was in West Philadelphia, but this is the whole character arc that we see commonly in these shows, TVs, and whatnot, where people are basically saying, the problem is everybody else around you, and all you have to do is be yourself. The real thing that you need is to be yourself. It's not about learning, changing, growing over time, adapting to your surroundings, which even in the silly, lighthearted comedy, The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, that was what it was actually about, some changes and growth on behalf of Will Smith and how he felt about going through those changes. It's all about being who you truly are, because you know what Bel-Air needs? You know what Bel-Air has always been missing? An authentically black Philadelphia black person, Will Smith. Go fight Privilege White, the white privilege villain of this show, and don't worry about the gang member because Jeffrey Thompson is going to murder him. Now overall, after watching this trailer, even though I crapped all over it, even though I'm not interested in the premise, even though I find the premise of seriously rebooting The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or even a comedic reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air to be ridiculous, I'm probably going to watch every single episode of this show because this looks like it's going to be a goldmine in terms of comedy, unintentionally, maybe even more so than the original show was in terms of comedy, even though the comedy in that show was intentional. But hey, those are just my thoughts. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, you show them by leaving a like. You can subscribe for more content. Follow me on all my social media. Support me via the support links in the description box. This has been me talking about Bel-Air, the dramatic reboot of The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Till next time.